Hi, this is Sue Jackson, host of the Big Book Summer Challenge, now in its 13th year, and I'm back from our 5.5 week long road trip with our camper from our home in Delaware. The furthest we went was the Canadian Rockies, lots of amazing places in between. It was an incredible trip. It definitely exceeded our expectations. Every place we visited was the natural beauty was just stunning. I'll give you a quick 1 minute rundown, but you can look at my videos from the trip. I've been posting both longer vlogs and shorts. Some of them aren't even a minute long, but to give you an idea, I tried to capture the most amazing, stunning things we saw in those shorts and in the longer vlogs as well. So you can check those out. I'll get to what I'm reading in a moment. If you haven't been following my trip, just to give you a quick idea of what we did. Our first stop was in West Virginia, beautiful state forest, Cooper's Rock, where we camped and hiked. Really cool hike there. The video is good. Then a few boring days just crossing the Midwest where it was pretty hot. Had a lovely weekend in northern Iowa at a state park. And then up to Minnesota, stopped to see the Jolly Green Giant in Blue Earth, Minnesota, as we always do. That's tradition. And on to South Dakota. We spent a whole week in South Dakota. One place we'd never been before, Snake Creek Recreation Area, which is right on the Missouri River. Beautiful. And we had a campsite right on the water. And we spent a day there was no one there. We were there on a Monday, and the place is packed on weekends, but there's no one there during the week. Really relaxing. Then on to an old favorite of ours, Badlands National Park in South Dakota, and the town of Wall. If you've ever traveled out west, you've probably heard of Wall Drug. They've got signs everywhere. And then the Black Hills, one of our favorite vacation spots. We've been there many, many times. My husband's got family there. Really enjoyed being there again. We hadn't been there in 9 years. And then once we left South Dakota, it was all new stuff for us. We drove across Montana, southern Montana, beautiful, prairies, lots of antelope. Met up with my cousin in Bozeman, stayed at the confluence of two rivers that become the Missouri River. So the Missouri River, we kind of followed the whole trip. And then finally we headed north to Glacier National Park in northern Montana. We spent 3 days on the east side of the park, 3 days on the west side of the park. Everybody had said it was amazing, and we've seen pictures, but to be there and experience it, it's just incredible. So check out those videos. I highly recommend those. And then we went up into Canada. We visited 4 national parks in the Canadian Rockies, and then finally headed back east, reluctantly. And on the way back, we stopped at Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota. It was our first time in North Dakota, which was our 48th state to visit. We've always wanted to see Theodore Roosevelt National Park, and it was just incredible. All of these places, the beauty and the grandeur is just amazing. And then over to Apostle Islands National Lakeshore in northern Wisconsin, right on Lake Superior. And then through Michigan's Upper Peninsula. And then finally, very reluctantly, we had to turn south again, back to the heat and humidity and the traffic and the crowds. It was lovely being up north for over a month. And stopped to see old friends in Cleveland, which was fabulous also. We hadn't seen them in a very long time, and we've known them for almost 40 years, so great way to cap off the trip. So you can check out my videos and the shorts and just get a glimpse of what an amazing trip it was. Okay, so reading. Got a lot of catching up to do. I did post a few reading shorts while I was away. So, well, I'll mention them as I go along. So most of July, I was reading The Prince of Tides by Pat Conroy, a book that so many people have recommended to me. And yeah, I can't believe I've never read it. I had never read anything by Pat Conroy. What an absolute delight. I just lost myself in this novel. It is so immersive. So I did a 3-minute review of it. I don't think it'll let me put a link to a short up here, but I'll link to it down below in the notes if you want to hear the details of it. It was just as great as everyone said. Beautiful writing, fabulous nature writing, family drama about a very dysfunctional family, great characters, lots of action and plot twists. It's just got everything. So really enjoyed that. And when I got home, we just got home last night, but today I was looking at my summer book bingo and trying to update that. So I put Prince of Tides under the ocean category because it takes place in South Carolina, right on the ocean. August, I have been reading Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman for both a Big Book Summer. And if you're not familiar with Big Book Summer, I just explained it to a new subscriber just a couple days ago while I was in the car. It's just about reading books of 400 or more pages. Whatever you choose, it's completely up to you. So Thunderhead meet the criteria for Big Book Summer, but also for YA August, which is being hosted by Suey's Book Banter and Books and Bocadillas. So he's one of my favorite authors. Love Shusterman. All of his novels are great. The Unwind series is one of my family's favorites. When my son was a teenager, he read it and then I read it because I was reviewing kids and teens books at the time. And then my husband read it. We ended up, all three of us, reading the whole series. So this is the second book in his Arc of a Scythe series. I've been practicing the correct way to say scythe because I said it wrong in my short where I talked about it. So this is set in a world 100 years, more than 100 years into the future. Natural death is no longer a thing. People don't die. They can be revived. Technology has gotten to the point where we all have nanites in our bloodstream that immediately activate to heal any illness or injury. If someone does die, they call it deadish because they're sent to a recovery center and revived, or a revival center. So in this world, there are scythes. People who are, their job, their life is killing other people based on mortal age actuarial tables. So in the first book, Scythe, 2 16-year-olds are chosen to be scythe apprentices. And neither of them is thrilled about this. But that book's all about their training and the things they go through and some challenges they run into. Well, in this second book, the community of scythes is becoming more and more corrupt. And there's a faction that finds pleasure in the killing and is pushing to increase their quotas. And so there's this whole infighting in the scythe community. And this is about those same 2 apprentices from the first book, Citra and Rowan, and their different ways of addressing the corruption in their community. I'm almost finished with it, and that's good because I still need to read this. My husband gave me this for my birthday while we were away, The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honoré Fanon Jeffers. Longlisted for the National Book Award. 2 summers ago, this was the hot book for Big Book Summer, and everyone was reading it. And as usual, I'm behind the times. But I've got my copy now. My neighborhood book group is discussing it in September. So obviously it's a big book, but there's no way I'm going to finish this by September 1st. I'm hoping to start it in the next day or two and finish it by our book group date, which I think is like the second week in September. But really looking forward to that. I've heard such good things about it. While we were away, my husband also participates in Big Book Summer. He finished Streets of Laredo by Larry McMurtry. This is the final book in the Lonesome Dove series. There's actually 4 books, and Lonesome Dove is the 3rd. So this is the sequel to Lonesome Dove. I read it and loved it in June for both Big Book Summer and June on the Range. My husband enjoyed it as well. And while we were away, lots of places, we didn't have even cell service for weeks at a time on this trip. So we bring my old laptop, which has a drive for CDs or DVDs. And we use it as a DVD player, basically. So we brought with us the DVDs of the original Lonesome Dove TV miniseries, and we watched that while we were away, which was very good. Really enjoyed that. A little dated, like they've got Native American characters not being played by Native Americans in some cases, things like that. But because we both loved the novel Lonesome Dove so much, we did enjoy seeing the TV miniseries. I think my husband had seen it when it first aired. I never had. So both of us enjoyed this. On my summer book bingo, I put Streets of Laredo down for outside your comfort zone because I don't normally read a whole lot of Westerns. Lonesome Dove really showed me what I was missing out on. My husband is now reading another book that I loved earlier this year, and that's The Road to Roswell by Connie Willis. We love Connie Willis's Oxford time travel series. You can see 2 of them over here, Blackout and All Clear. Fabulous pair of books. They go together. The other books you don't have to read in any order, but those 2, All Clear is a sequel to Blackout. We love her writing. We had always noticed her sense of humor, even though those books can be dark at times and are pretty serious. This book is pure fun. It's all about an alien abduction in Roswell, New Mexico. She's having a blast. She clearly had a blast writing this. It's a lot of fun to read. It seems a little silly at first, but there's plenty of suspense, huge sense of humor, lots of plot twists you didn't see coming, and it's got a lot of heart too. So he's enjoying this. He thought that would be a nice palate cleanser after Streets of Laredo, which is pretty dark. On audio, I still have not finished The Brothers Karamazov, which I started at the beginning of June. I didn't listen to much audiobook on my own during the trip because we were usually listening to audiobooks together in the car. We drove like over 6,000 miles on this trip, lots of time in the car, and I think it was about 40 days in total. So lots of time in the car, lots of hours. I hope to finish The Brothers Karamazov in the next few days. I am right near the end because I just got The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. I think that's his name. I think I'm saying it right. Another huge Big Book Summer hit a few years ago when it seemed like everybody was reading it. So I'm looking forward to listening to that one. It's another one I may not finish by September 1st, the end of the Big Book Summer Challenge, but I'm still looking forward to it. And while we were in the car, we finished 2 audiobooks and started a 3rd. So we listened to Walk the Wire by David Baldacci. Neither of us is a huge Baldacci fan, but I was trying to pick, we like to listen to thrillers in the car together, and I was trying to pick books that were set in the places we were visiting. That one is set in North Dakota with one scene in Montana. So it was cool to listen to a book set where we were going. When we got to North Dakota, we kept making references to it. It's a good thriller, fast-paced. It was a big book. Still not one of our favorite thriller authors, but we both enjoyed it. It helped the miles go by. And then next, we listened to one of our favorite thriller authors, Nevada Barr, her novel Blood Lure, which is set in Glacier National Park. This is part of her Anna Pigeon series, which is set in national parks. The main character, Anna Pigeon, is a park ranger. And so, she gets transferred around. In this case, she is sort of on loan to Glacier for a special project when, of course, they encounter a dead body. And there is, right at the beginning of this book, there is this scary scene with a grizzly bear. And we started listening, and my husband was like, "Are you kidding me? We're going to listen to this while we're in grizzly country?" Because after Glacier, we went up to the Canadian Rockies. But it was excellent, as her books always are. We enjoyed it very much. And again, being set somewhere that we had just visited was really cool. So for Walk the Wire, I counted that on my summer books bingo as a book in a series, because it was part of a series. And Blood Lure I counted for wilderness survival, because there are a lot of wilderness scenes. And currently we are listening to 61 Hours by Lee Child, my husband's favorite author. He loves the Jack Reacher series. This is one of the earlier books in the series. I think it was published in like the 2008, I read. It is set in South Dakota, which, as I said, not only did we visit on this trip, but we're very familiar with. We've been there many times. So that's really good. We're at about 60%, and we did get home last night. And it is due back to the library in a couple of weeks. I'm going to see if I can renew it. But also, we're going on another trip, believe it or not. My cousin is throwing a surprise 85th birthday party for my aunt, her mom. And so we're driving to North Carolina for Labor Day weekend. So we will be getting back in the car, back with the camper, and traveling again pretty soon. So I have a lot of catching up to do here on BookTube. I would love to hear what you're reading. Please let me know in the comments down below. Take a moment to like and subscribe to my channel. And I can't wait to catch up and hear what you're all reading.